Hi, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Good, yourself?
I'm
We
okay.
are on the website from the Simon Group, and they're located in the Boston area of Massachusetts. They are a Markzware customer, PDF2DTP, and perhaps other products. But let's hear that from Mr. David Appice himself. Hope I said your name correctly, David.
Sure, Dippies, add the D in.
Excellent. Yeah, and that's from Portuguese island, right?
Yeah, that's Portuguese and Italian. That's both.
Oh wow, it's the best of both worlds, I guess, eh?
Yes, the apostrophe's the only thing my great grandfather brought with him. You still have it.
Excellent, excellent. You know, so I mean, well, before we jump into Markzware and everything, maybe you could tell us a little bit of background about your company and perhaps yourself. We just heard about your family background, but maybe about your company. You know.
There you go. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, about 30 years ago, I founded the Simon Group here in about 20 minutes outside of Boston, and we built a substantial following in the healthcare industry and commercial real estate and some technology, a nice mix of really everything from nonprofit to medical device. So we've grown the company in a fairly strategic way, based on really having a very qualified core team of specialists who really know their market, seasoned pros. These are people who are resourceful. These are people who know how to get things done. And we built it on the idea that you could crystallize both sort of creative side and the marketing intelligence side. And that's a nice synthesis. I come to it naturally because as a designer at heart, I bring that sensibility to it, but I also have the sort of Jesuit training that goes behind an MBA and understanding the ROI, the metrics, and all the great tools that didn't exist 30 years ago and now exist now to be aware of that stuff. So we've been excited to always be sort of on the forefront of that, watching the industry grow and change from the days when it really was a craft with an X-Acto knife and an airbrush, all the way up to where we are today with marketing automation and some of the great technology bells and whistles.
Now I noticed on that that you've got more than one Markzware product, and you've got more than one of our each product. So I see you're using Q2ID, our Quark to InDesign conversion filter.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you had used Quark in the past, and
yes, of course, we made the big migration, and we've been buying Markzware products since Markzware started, I guess.
Yeah.
And followed you to some value over the years. You have provided us with so many solutions when we're in a position where we really need that tool. So we've had a long-standing relationship with you, and couldn't ask for more from the products that you create. They've allowed us to survive and move forward in the industry, where we may have been sort of stuck on Software Island for a while if we didn't have those tools.
Right. Oh, that's great to hear. Thank you, David. Did you also use FlightCheck in the past, or?
We did, yeah. In the early days, we did use that. And then, of course, as our shop migrated away from Quark, I think we sort of reached a point of frustration. So we had I don't know how many million files in Quark from our earliest years. Actually, we go back to PageMaker as well. We go back quite a ways.
Yeah.
But having to bring all that forward for us is no easy feat. And so to lose any of that work would have been really difficult, especially in our case where we have really long-term relationships with our clients. We tend to stay with them for 20 years, and so they rely on us to have all their stuff and have it all available at a moment's notice. And if some of that stuff was done in freehand, some of it was done in, whatever it was at the time, we need to be able to pull that all forward and still have usable assets. Even when our clients change jobs and the company gets acquired and folded, we still are holding the bag for them, which we do as a courtesy and as a service gladly. But that's really critical that we have total command of what we have and have built on behalf of our clients. We couldn't do it any other way. It's a wide range of some of the largest and smallest clients in the country.
Okay, no, Yeah, but
We're all friends. It's this very small world.
oh yeah. No, yeah. Like I said, I came from Andover, so not that far away from you at all.
Yeah.
I mean, Harrison's
Next
roast
town.
beef. You know that Harrison's.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. Right on 125. Sure.
It's still one of my most favorite restaurants. Whenever I'm back there, I go.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. How can you go wrong with the sauce and cheese? I mean, you got it
Exactly.
all.
S&M, and it's like I went. I was many years not there, and I went back there, and it hasn't changed. you know,
No,
the same guys are behind the counter, more or less. Which
that's
is
the
great.
truth. That's the truth. The parking lot still has the pothole in the third space.
Yeah. The same sign.
Right.
So anyone watching, if you're ever in North Andover, you have to go to Harrison's Roast Beef. It's delicious.
That's right.
We might
Local legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, David.
Great.
Now back to the Markzware bit, and great that you've been using all of actually probably all of our products along the line, one way or another. But one of our more recent products is the PDF to InDesign converter, PDF2DTP.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you can tell us a little more about how you decided to try that out or whatever. Yeah.
Sure. Well, that one for us is a lifesaver because for some of our larger clients, especially our bigger medical clients, they may have a stable of, say, 7 agencies that they work with every day of the week.
Right.
We're all sort of scattered around the country. And so for us to be able to take a file and leverage the assets that are in that file, we need to be able to work with what's within the native files. Frequently, we don't get the native files. Not every agency plays nicely in the sandbox, and sometimes we get a PDF that a product manager had, and that's about as most as we're going to get.
Right.
We don't operate like that. We're pretty transparent with everything. It's all yours to the world. That's great. But not everyone's like that, and some people, they're not going to be able to provide that. So for us to be able to take a PDF that may exist and then convert that into something that we can work with in InDesign is so critical, just from a collaboration standpoint, because you just don't know what you're getting. Do we have the right version of this or that or the other thing? Sort of a mixed bag. And, a lot of that comes over our threshold every day. So it's really important for us to have that sort of functionality to take in whatever we're going to get thrown. Here's a flyer we did 2 years ago. They probably can't even find the original files in some cases. So we're still able to take that and run with that. And it really is a secret weapon for us because, we're able to flip that out in 10 minutes and say, okay, well, we've at least got a working file. We have a baseline. And that's really huge for us that because otherwise we would be recreating from nothing every single time. So there's definitely a dollar savings there for us. That's a windfall for us when that happens.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's one of the how do we call it? One of our features and benefits is the fact that everyone has those PDFs where you don't have the source files anymore.
Right.
And in your case, it's a matter of a new customer or existing customer, keeping them happy, and I can imagine that's very, very useful.
Right. Especially when there's a lot of career mobility these days, especially in our business. A lot of people moving around. She's at the company 2 years and then she's gone and someone else is there. So there really is a lot of legacy stuff left behind. And as the sort of the guardian, and after 30 years in the same business, I at least have some line of sight to where the bodies are buried, then that's good to know and good to be able to have a command of that. And your tools really help us do that.
Yeah, excellent. Do you have any, let's say, real life stories that you know of with your PDF2DTP? Any of your users, how they've?
Yeah, so this just happened with one of our medical clients, where they actually did have a brochure from a couple of years ago. Because of the structure of the organization, they were never going to be able to get back to the original files or where they even came from. They inherited that to some degree. And I think it may have even come through an acquisition of another company. And so they took some of their literature, but they didn't have any of the source files for anything. They had sales PDFs.
Yeah.
So we were able to grab that stuff, of course, flip it through PDF2ID, and then in a morning we had a whole sort of portfolio of work that served as the campaign to build forward. And even some of the most basic things that you would need to have, like, do you have a really good copy of your logo? Sometimes we just don't even have that. And it's amazing to me how quickly things change. So that was a perfect case where we were able to take a boatload of material, convert it, have a whole set of InDesigns, collected the assets, and fairly cleanly collected as well, which is impressive, given what's embedded in the PDF and what's not. We were pretty impressed with that. So that allowed us, no downtime, no catch up, slide right into position and start producing the work, which is what the client wants.
Right.
So that's a real benefit for us.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, one thing for the people watching now, PDF2DTP will not only convert, but will also export the images. So you'll get a folder with all the images that are embedded and used within the PDF at resolution embedded. So if it's low res, you're going to be low res, but some PDFs have decent.
Not bad.
And like
right.
you said, enough to get you started. You can swap out if need be and that sort of stuff. So.
Right.
Excellent.
I think we're good. We appreciate your products. We appreciate everything you do every day. And when you're looking for that marketing support, think simon-group.com.
Excellent.
I had to put the plug in.
Yeah, you work nationwide, correct?
We do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Here's
mostly in the New England quarter, but we do have clients that span.
Right. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Here's more information on David on LinkedIn. If you're interested, you can find David over there. And I'll hit connect now. See if he'll connect with me. Yeah. And over on their website, like he said, simon-group.com, you'll find all the information on very nice webpage, by the way, nice and clean, of course.
Great.
And yeah, excellent. So, David, thank you very much.
My pleasure, Dave. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Take care.
It's been fun. Bye.